Hey, it's Lockie with a review of the Insta360 X4. If you've watched my videos for a while, you might have seen a few where I was filming with the first version, the 1X. I bought that one in 2019 for a couple of reasons. Number one is that I'd never used a 360 camera before, and number two, which was the main one, is that I wanted to find out if I could get a good way of filming myself riding powder, as I was testing and reviewing quite a few powder boards at the time. When I'm not filming in powder, I normally get some friends to film me for a couple of laps after I've gotten used to a board, but I don't want them to waste a powder day just to film me. That's where I found the old Insta 1X did a good job. I could fit the invisible selfie stick and the camera in my pocket and bring it out when I wanted to film when there was some nice snow. I could get good footage in terrain that would have been hard to get a follow cam with another rider. Other than comparing this new camera to the older version that I have, I'll see how good an option this is for someone who just wants to pick it up, film some snowboarding and get some good footage at the end of it. Without going into any of the technical details and how they work, because the cameras are filming all directions at once, you aren't going to miss a shot. The only real thing that you have to think about is the position of the camera, which for me is generally in front of me, filming back up the hill, or behind me, filming down the hill where I'm riding. Comparing the 1X to the X4, there are some pretty major differences. The X4 is a fair bit bigger, thicker, and heavier, which is probably mainly the battery. On the old one, you could not really see the screen or check the settings if you were outside in the sun. That little screen just wasn't bright enough to make it visible. The big touchscreen on the new one is easy to see in the sun, so that problem's gone now. The new one has a proper waterproof rating to 10 meters, which is overkill for how I use it in the snow, but at least I can crash with it or drop it in snow without thinking that it's going to work its way inside the camera somehow. Everything is a bit nicer and clickier. It feels like an expensive camera now. With the 1X, I had a few extra batteries that I would ride with because the cold weather wore through them fairly fast. Probably just because of the size of the new battery, I was almost always finishing the day with around 30% left to go. To be fair, I am only filming things that I think are good. I didn't want to have to sort through hours of footage when I just have left it recording. The camera keeps working fine in cold conditions. The coldest I was using it was around minus 10 to 15, with wind chill making it almost minus 25. The X4 does come with some lens guards, which does make sense to help protect the lenses of a pretty expensive camera. I never bothered to add any protection to my original camera, and even though I crashed with it plenty of times, dragged it through the snow, it never got scratched or damaged, which maybe was just luck. I did try adding the lens guards on the new camera, but they didn't mix well with the temperature and moisture changes of being in a warm jacket to cold snow. One lens would always fog up slightly, and although the footage was still usable, it wasn't ideal. After that, I just risked it. We were mainly riding in powder anyway, so even when I fall, the chances are pretty good that it's just going into soft snow. The most useful accessory is the invisible selfie stick. That is the one thing you would need to have with a camera like this. It screws into the bottom of the camera with a standard tripod thread and makes a pretty solid connection. The only other way that I had filmed was on the helmet mount, which was a good choice when I was riding in steeper or new terrain and didn't want to have to ride with the pole out. Either way that I was filming, the stabilization makes the footage very smooth. And if you accidentally get some water or snow on the lenses, you can get an idea to see how much the software is moving the image around to make a stable looking final video. The camera can film in 8K, but I mainly stuck to 5.7 as I was almost always in low light or overcast situations. And that's the mode they recommend for those. Either way, with the higher resolution modes, you have quite a few options for reframing and zooming in a bit on your shots once you get it onto the phone or the computer. I think that the X4 has a pretty good balance between being simple to use and not hard to get good results from. It suits me because I was just looking to get the camera out, film something without worrying about too many settings, and choose how I want it to look on the computer. A beginner could pretty easily put the camera on a selfie stick, press record, and get some good solid shots without having to get too much into the details. The footage is going to be nice and stable, and even if you aren't that good at holding a selfie stick still or smooth, it'll still be right. Or, if you're an advanced user and properly plan out every shot, film in flat color and all that, I'm sure you could get even better results. It's not a cheap camera, but it is pretty easy to use and can almost guarantee that you'll get a nice stable shot. And there are links in the description if you want to find out more about the camera.